Hey there, it's Brett. Thank you for stopping by or returning to my channel. I don't know what's like for you today, but I can say in LA, it's hot. We're shaking. We had a little 5.2 earthquake just a little bit ago. So I'm coming to you rocking and rolling with a book haul from the UK and the US. So stick around. All right, so I haven't done a book haul for a while. I've got a bunch of stuff from the UK, which I haven't also done for a while. I don't know why I think I have all this money with no job, but here we go. Uh, but before we get into that, I want to talk about a couple things that are coming out this week here in the States. One of which is Peggy by Rebecca Godfrey, which is about Peggy Guggenheim. I actually, I love this cover and I'm really excited to read this. I bought this for my mother-in-law, whose birthday it was this week, who is 94. But this sounds really interesting to me. Also, coming out today, Burn by Peter Heller, which sounds really interesting about two guys who go off the grid in a very politically divided country. When they come back onto the grid, the country is in turmoil and they kind of have to navigate across this very divided country. The last thing that sounds really interesting to me that's coming out this week is Lady Macbeth by Ava Reed, which is obviously the Lady Macbeth story told by her from her perspective. If they look interesting to you too, check them out. Now, on to stuff that I have recently got. The first thing I have to tell you before I do my UK stuff is I was talking about this before, Seen Through, A Chronicle of Sex, Drugs, and Opera by Ricky Ian Gordon. I finished this. I absolutely, absolutely loved this so much. And I swear to God, I'm going to talk more about it, at least in my wrap up, but maybe something beyond that. But one of the things in this book that is so interesting is when Ricky Ian Gordon was a young child, his family became the subject of a book. And that book is called Home Fires, an intimate portrait of one middle class family in post war America by Donald Katz. And so he was talking about this, and I was like, I really want to read this book, which in and of itself is supposed to be a fantastic book. So I went on to eBay, got it. And yeah, so I don't know. I just went down this rabbit hole. I tend to do that sometimes, and this is one of those instances. All right, so I'm going to start with the British books or the UK edition books, whatever, and then I'll move into the States. The first is A.J. West's The Betrayal of Thomas True. I feel like I could just put this in my pocket. First of all, look how beautiful, beautiful, beautiful the ends are. I really liked his book, The Spirit Engineer, which came out a few years ago. I think right around the time that I started on like Instagram and YouTube. And he's a lovely man. This one sounds really, really good as well. And I don't know why they don't publish these in the States, but it's set amidst the buried streets of Georgian London. The Betrayal of Thomas True is a brutal and devastating thriller where love must overcome evil, and the only true sin is betrayal. So that's the first. Then part of this Guardian long list, I've talked about this before. The Guardian put out a list of the 10 best new novels and novelists of the year, and I've read a lot of them. And I feel like I should do, when I finish, I'm going to read all of them. And I feel like I should do a post when I finish them, and I can rank them. And two of these books that I'm going to talk about now are from that list. The first is Nicholas Podamsi's England Is Mine. It sounds really crazy and intense, that deals with radicalization of young people, the gaming world, immigrants, racism, class. And I know that Ben Reads Good recently read this and really thought it was interesting, which kind of propelled me then to say, all right, I've got to get on this and read it. So that's the first of these two Guardian titles. The second one is this one, Spoiled Creatures by Amy Twigg, which I just saw on Savage Reads. He recently got this as well and was talking about it in a book haul. this opening line is so great on the dust jacket. They thought they knew everything about us, the kind of women we were. It's about a group of women in a commune, and when something happens to threaten the order of it, what happens? Don't know more than that, but what a great cover, right? Okay, so those are two from that list. The other ones, obviously, I had to get this because of the Booker. I'm a little more than halfway through the Booker Prize. In fact, right now I'm reading Rachel Kushner's Creation Lake. Right now I'm not far enough to really have any kind of opinion about it yet, but God, I love this cover so much. And I'm hearing mixed things about it, but for some reason I think I'm totally going to vibe with this. The last book, I think I saw this on Waterstone's website or Blackwell's. I don't remember. Anyway, it's called The Diaries of Mr. Lucas, Notes from a Lost Gay Life. For nearly 60 years, Mr. George Lucas led a double life. A mild-mannered civil servant by day, by night he was a fixture of London's colorful underground gay scene. A twilight world of petty crimes and public toilets. He was also an obsessive diary writer. When Lucas died in 2014, he left his diaries to the journalist Hugo Greenhalgh. The Diaries of Mr. Lucas combines Mr. Lucas's deliciously indiscreet recollections of a life spent sometimes literally in the shadows with Greenhalgh's commentary. This is gay London like it's never been before. I don't know. We'll see. Looks interesting. All right. So that's the UK part of this vlog. Now for the American part. Nuclear War by Annie Jacobson, a scenario. I have to tell you, I bought this because I was having people were saying, oh my God, this is so incredible. It's one of the best books I've ever read and also one of the most terrifying. Well, I was like, oh my God, I have to read it. And then I got it and I started to read more about some of the excerpts from the book. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know that I really want to know what is going to happen to all of us when there's a nuclear war. I mean, come on, we know what's going to happen when there's a nuclear war. But I mean, my kind of thing is like, don't you just put on the sunscreen and lay out in the backyard and just wait for the end? So I don't know that I need to go through it all. Certainly I'm not in the place to read this right now. Maybe at some other time, but not right now. But anyway, here it is. All right. In a completely different direction, Brother Song by TJ Klune. This is the fourth and final book in his Green Creek novels that are basically kind of romance novels. They're like it's a gay love story, effectively, with werewolves. It's Twilight with gay people. It's how I would describe it. I've only read the first one. I got all of them, basically because I want the set. I think that the covers are really pretty. I will eventually read them all, God knows when. But anyway, so this is the last of that group. So this, I Cheerfully Refuse by Leif Enger. I had wanted to read this really badly. And but I was like, I can't buy another book. I don't want to buy another book. And lo and behold, this beauty showed up in my little free library. So I was like, wow. And it's in amazing condition. It's like it's not even read. So I snapped it up. So very excited about this. I don't know if any of you have read this yet, but very excited. I was lucky enough to get this from Sarah Jessica Parker's press. This is one of her latest book, They Dream in Gold by Mai Sanar. A reader traverses half the globe through this story, becomes a singer and dancer and a chef, and is welcomed into a formidable community of women where love is the unshakable glue. Subtle yet striking, The Dream in Gold is a remarkable comment on motherhood, diaspora, and ambition. That quote is from Carrie Bradshaw herself, Sarah Jessica Parker. So this looks really interesting to me. It's out now. Excited about that one. This is another book that I found really early on. Don't remember where I read about it. It just sounded fascinating to me. And then last week, I just saw a clip of Jenna from Read with Jenna talking about it and saying how good it is. Again, I think I was just really intrigued by the cover initially. We Burn Daylight by Brett Anthony Johnston. An epic novel of star-crossed lovers set in a doomsday cult on the Texas prairie that asks, What would you sacrifice for the person you love? Okay, now I've given you two cult books. Well, one was not a cult book exactly. That was a commune. This is a cult, different thing. But I think this sounds great. So this I might try to prioritize for September, since my August is all packed up. But I think it looks really good. And my final book I'm going to share with you today. I was at this really cool bookstore in Los Angeles called Book Soup, an independent bookstore. It's up on Sunset Boulevard. And I've been in there for a few events. They get a lot of really great author events. But I spent a lot of time there the other day, and I was really enjoying the vibe. And I thought, this is cool. And if I ever went back to a bookstore, or ever had a bookstore, or ever opened a bookstore, none of which are ever going to happen, but it's nice to dream. I thought I would want to work here, or I would want my bookstore to be like here. It was really cool. So anyway, the book, The Met Gala and Tales of Saints and Seekers by Bruce Wagner. I haven't heard about Bruce Wagner in so long. I don't think I've ever read anything by him. It was so sweet when I went up to buy this, and I was like, oh my God, I was really intrigued by the cover. And she was like, yes, Bruce Wagner is a good writer. But it was something about the way she said it. It was like I hadn't heard of him, and whatever. This is a stupid story. Anyway, I was really drawn in, I'm trying to not get the glare, by the cover. It is it says the sacred and profane come together with visceral force in two novellas by Bruce Wagner. I think they both take place in Los Angeles, and they deal with the people in Los Angeles, the excesses of Los Angeles, the desire and the trying to become famous. I just think it sounds really great. And again, I loved this cover so much. And also Bruce wrote in this and said, thanks for attending. All right, so that's the haul. Anything on here that looks interesting to you, let me know. I will see you shortly. Like I said, I'm going to do a Booker check-in. And then within a few weeks, we're almost going to be to the end of the month. I have some things coming up I'm going to announce later in September. Just to remind you, all the books I've talked about today will be on my bookshop.org page. You can also let me know if you have any questions, concerns, whatever. Send me comments below. You can also email me at brettsbookstack@gmail.com. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for being here, and I will see you all soon.